What's up, gamers? I'm your host Cobra, and this is the Freeroll. Today, we've got a gameplay-specific news roundup. A gameplay news roundup simply means that today we're going over a bunch of news from a whole bunch of different projects, and all of it is gameplay related specifically. If you've been following this channel or following the Web3 gaming space in general, then you know that for the most part, projects are still under development, and that typically means we've seen very little or no gameplay for the games that they're building. It's wonderful to see this level of progress, especially considering how bad the market has been lately. These are projects that are still delivering, and eventually the market is going to improve, and we are going to see these games start to break through and achieve mass adoption, at least in a couple of cases. And when that does happen, this is the group of games that I expect to see thriving. So let's jump right in, and the first project is the one that is the furthest away from delivering gameplay. It's MechaFightClub. They recently dropped their first Octagon trailer, and this project is about AI and machine learning trained robot chickens that will be able to enter into cockfighting battles, and it's looking like a lot of fun. This trailer is excellent. The puns are on point, and the chickens look really good. I am very excited for this project to continue moving forward, as they're doing some really cool stuff with the technology. End of last week, Star Atlas dropped their showroom feature, and the showroom is a big, massive delivery for this enormous project. The showroom is essentially one stage where you can now run around with your avatar, and you can pull in any of the ship NFTs that you own, as well as some of the posters as well. So this gives us a really cool opportunity to interact with the Unreal 5 engine and the technology that the Star Atlas team is building on. It looks fantastic. You also get to bring in your ships, which is really neat, because the fact of the matter is these ships are gigantic. They're scaled just like they would be in real life, and while I don't own any of the really large ships, even the medium and small ships are quite impressive to look at in 3D. Some of the models are fully rendered, some are still in progress, but this is a big step forward, and really the last step before we actually get to start flying our ships and doing battles. Our friends over at Illuvium also finally dropped Private Beta 2. They had been hyping and teasing that for a while, and it is finally here as of about a week ago, maybe a little bit longer. I haven't had a lot of time to spend with that update, but we did take a look. Graphically, it looks fantastic. That project continues to deliver from an art standpoint for sure, but this is also the first time that they've really done a big update and added a whole bunch of features. There are new characters, new modes, and a bunch of changes that are sure to keep the game fresh and exciting. Illuvium's also been talking a lot more about their interconnected blockchain connectivity. It's a neat approach, but essentially it means that they're going to build a bunch of games, and the assets will be applicable in all of them, which is very cool. Galaxies launched their episode 4 demo, which is maybe the most impressive of anything on this list so far. The Galaxies team has had gameplay available for anybody holding an NFT for quite a while now, and this is the 4th episode that they have released, and it was released before all the rest of this news that we're covering today as well. That means that there is a lot of the game that you can jump into and enjoy today. It's also a much more involved actual game. It's not just a bunch of clicking. You are literally flying around in space or on a planet, piloting your mech, destroying other ships or mechs, and going on full missions. It is a lot of fun, and plays very well. It's also available on Mac. There's not a lot of projects that can claim that today as well. So no reason not to check it out. The NFTs required to get access have a variety of ranges and prices, but the cheapest ones are very, very inexpensive, just a few dollars. So it is not cost prohibitive to check this game out. Everseed continues to absolutely smash both development and community engagement. In fact, that project is one of my favorite examples of how to do a good job of delivering during the heavy development periods. They've done a couple of things. Number one, they have a bunch of stuff running in their Discord. Anybody that had a ranger was airdropped a seed several weeks back, and you could water that seed once a day and it would eventually turn into a sprout and then eventually a battle plant, which is something that we'll be able to use in the game. At the same time, they continue to surprise us with gameplay demos, and each time they've done so, they have added onto it and made additional updates to the game. Most recently, this past weekend, they relaunched the game again, and they had a new boss stage available, the first boss that we've been able to take on. It was definitely a challenge, but we managed to finish it. Unfortunately, I didn't record much, and the demo is closed again, but based on the last couple of months, I think it's safe to assume that we won't have to wait very long for a new update and the demo to come back once again. Legends of Venari is another project that has had their game available for many months now. In fact, we were playing that game back in February, so they've had a lot of time to make improvements and updates along the way. They're currently in the middle of their beta season, which has been a success so far, but things are really starting to heat up for that project as they recently posted their event schedule, and it covers us with 2 events per month for the rest of the year, all the way into January. Last but certainly not least, our friends at Champion Ascension released the Slice of Masana gameplay demo to all holders. Previously, it had been a very tight group of holders that were selected to do the first couple of rounds of beta testing, but that has gone well enough that they opened it up to everybody last week. That is 8 project updates, and those are just the projects that we are covering actively on this channel. There are plenty of other gaming projects out there that have had similar success recently as well, that we aren't just fully tapped into yet. Our friends over at Blankos launched their Season 1 last week. I'm hearing that that game is a lot of fun, and I fully intend to check it out as soon as possible. Dead Drop has demos available for their Founder Pass holders, and that's not my style of game, but it does continue to be very hyped up, and I think you can expect to see more coverage for Dead Drop on this channel in the near future. And then our friends over at Crypto Raiders have released several new dungeons and character classes in recent weeks as well. That is another project that has had its game out for quite a while, albeit in a very minimal state, but it is getting much more in depth as it goes. That's not a project that we're covering a lot these days, but still exciting to see progress for the space. And in fact, in general, I expect that Q4 is going to continue to be loaded with gameplay development news, as several projects still plan to deliver some type of gameplay update in Q4. We've got our eyes on projects like Guild of Guardians and Frontier especially. Other side, I would hope, is going to have at least 1 or 2 additional play demos happening this quarter as well. But expect to see a lot more activity and a lot more actual gameplay on the channel moving forward. And that wraps up today's free roll. I hope you found this fun and informative, and if you did, consider giving me a follow on Twitter. That's where I love to engage with the Web3 gaming community at large and answer all of your questions. Also, double check for me that you hit that like and subscribe button below. Really helps to support the channel.